got messaged privately the other day by somebody who's too much of a small female Yorkie to make a public video response to one of my videos, saying that this random video he had of this random dude was proof that terrorists and criminals are flooding across the border. The video contained no such actual proof, and I tried looking into it and could find nothing that even remotely suggested his accusations were accurate. Now, I didn't know that this was like a big thing going around in far-right extremist propaganda circles. I think that they got a big gotcha because they caught this terrorist trying to sneak in with the illegal immigrants. They didn't, and we'll get into that in a minute, and why you probably shouldn't believe every single Twitter post you see from true_red-blooded_patriot_1776 in a minute. Anyway, while I was asking this dude to cite the ridiculous claim he made, which he couldn't, he moves the goalpost, and he's like, well, you mean to tell me that you don't think that there's criminals coming across the border? And I'm like, yeah, immigrants commit crimes at a fraction of the rate of natural-born citizens. And you really only need the critical thinking skills of an overcooked yam to understand why. Rub those couple brain cells together real hard. If you risked everything to get into a country that you don't reside in legally, and you're in constant fear of being caught and deported, probably gonna do your absolute best to avoid things that'll draw attention to yourself, you know, like crime. But homie here thinks he's gonna reverse Uno card me on this one and ask me for my source. Because, you know, I so often make claims I don't have citations for. So I provide him with not one, but 2 citations, because I like to be thorough. And these sources state that immigrants commit crime at roughly a third of the rate of natural-born citizens. And in less time than he could have copied the links and pasted them into his browser, he responds, well, obviously it's gonna be a fraction of the rate because immigrants are a fraction of the population. Now, this should have been my sign where I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm walking away. But no, I started explaining per capita rates because for some reason, I think I can teach Brick Tamlin 6th grade math. Turns out I can't. Doesn't matter though, because while my mind's still trying to process that mental gymnastics routine I just suffered through, he'd somehow already managed to lumberjack his way through the goalpost and truck it to the next county. At this point, I'm like, you know what, dude? I'm done. Obviously, you never intended this to be a good faith conversation, and I regret wasting my time acknowledging that you're a human being that exists in the world. Those are moments of my life that have been stolen from me that I will never get back, and big surprise, once again, it wasn't an immigrant committing that crime. He messages me again, like, I don't know, 10 more times, and I'm ignoring it, and then he sends another video about the supposed terrorist that they got on film on a TikTok video at the Mexican border. And I wasn't gonna open it, I wasn't even gonna look at it, I was just gonna move on for my mental health. But guys, I lack willpower when it comes to people whose neurons have fewer connections than millennials do to their parents, and explaining to them why they're bad and they should feel bad. Which brings me to this video, why I'm making it, and this whole terrorist at the Mexican border thing. Because I was actually super curious. Like, I like to know where these ridiculous conspiracies come from. And I googled it, and I couldn't find anything that wasn't on Twitter about it. Not even Fox, or Newsmax, or OAN, or Patriot Tribune. The only thing I could find about this Movsum Samadov, sure I butchered that, is that he was arrested in Bucha, I think, in 2011, and has spent nearly a decade and a half in prison. Nothing with connection to the United States or Mexico or the Mexican border. So I'm like, still, I have like no idea where he's getting this stuff from. And then I searched it on TikTok and I'm like, oh, those people. If you search it on TikTok, you will see a ton of videos claiming that this dude caught at the border is this dude. I'm getting frustrated because I like definitive proof on this kind of stuff, and usually somebody's fact-checked it by now. But they hadn't, and it occurred to me, I'm like, you know, dude was born in 1966. All of the pictures and the news articles from him on the internet are from a decade and a half ago. So if that dude in the video is the same guy on his little trek through Mexico, he must have stumbled across the Fountain of Youth Ponce de Leon mist because he looks damn good for damn near 60. So I did a tad bit more digging, and it turns out our infamous terrorist who was released from prison 1 year ago has an Instagram and YouTube account with like 3 subscribers. He's a real online community organizer, guys. And he's looking his age and then some. Here's a screenshot from his YouTube channel. Here's a couple screenshots from his Instagram right after he'd been released from prison. And just in case you're like, well, oh, maybe it's a different dude with the same name, because that name's really super common probably over there. There's another screenshot of his Instagram with those pictures and a picture of him from back in the day. And just in case you still have your doubts, he calls himself Doctor here on social media. And according to his biography, our infamous terrorist is in fact a doctor. And if you put these 2 people side by side and want to tell me they're the same person, I'm gonna tell you your glasses are in desperate need of a new prescription. So I share this with our intellectually esteemed friend here, and he goes, ha ha ha, you're using YouTube as a source, and then accuses me of voting and forming opinions based on emotion and not facts. or something. I don't know. I was defeated. I gave up. I did not go on to explain to him this is okay as a primary source because they're his social media accounts, which can be used to verify his identity. It is not, in fact, my responsibility to provide any sources, and that is not what I was doing here. They were simply just context that refutes an unfounded claim. It is up to the people making those claims to provide the evidence and sources beyond a shitty cell phone video and a 15-year-old picture that support that claim. And well, I couldn't help myself. It's not our responsibilities to prove the make-believe stories y'all made up wrong. Why are you like this? Like, we do not have the mental health support in this country to deal with the trauma of existing in the same reality as you people. It's not okay. Y'all are just genuinely awful, and you should feel awful.